Okay. Hello, testing. Okay. Call this meeting to order, please. Adequate notice of this meeting is provided by sending such notice to the Asbury Park Press, Middletown Patch, Middletown Township Public Schools District website, and posting of such notice at the August T. Minor Administrative Office in each elementary, middle, and secondary school in the district. Roll call, please, Mr.
Mrs. Minuis.
Here.
Mrs. Skolaski. Mr. Saporowski.
Here.
Mrs. Tobacco. Mrs. Torres.
Here.
Mrs. Weinstein.
Here.
Mrs. Wright.
Here.
Mr. Capone.
Here.
Mr. Avita.
Here. Now I need a motion to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Thanks, Howard.
All right, we're gonna reconvene a public meeting. Everybody please rise to the pledge. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That's not me.
What did he say? What's the emergency?
Monmouth County OEM and beachfront.
Fair Village is going crazy right now. There's like kids rioting and Fair Village, yeah, I got that on my phone. Like mommy, trying to kid. Yeah, people after that, the student speakers are in the audience.
Okay, student speakers, High School North, Jason Woods.
Rashi's going to speak.
Oh,
Oh,
so it's-
Rosh,
that's
no,
what I
no,
said.
no,
Yeah,
usually it is Jason.
Yeah, okay. So
Rashi's gonna fill in.
That's what I thought.
Oh, no, our- no, well, no, it's Jess Cirillo's here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, she's here. Yeah. It's been so long.
They want feedback.
Hi, so Jason couldn't be here today, so I'm filling in for him. I'm Rashi Mahopsiker. So I'm going to talk a little bit about what happened at Middletown North in May. So first, to start off, senior Mark Conway received the Dwight D. Eisenhower Leadership Award, recognizing New Jersey students who demonstrate excellence in academics and good citizenship. Juniors Christian Valletto, Santiago Bermudez, and Gavin Plath were chosen as delegates to attend the American Legion Boys State Leadership Program in June. Maya Dinozio was selected as the Girls State Delegate. Senior Isabella Caruso received the 2026 Monmouth County Guidance Directors Association Caring Award. Senior Mia Rose Scalise was one of 2 high school seniors to win the YMCA of Greater New Jersey's 37th Annual Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Essay Contest. Junior Estelle Stanfield won first place for both her Silk Pink Floyd arrangement and Cactus Dish Garden for the 49th Annual New Jersey FFA Horticulture Exposition in March. The Middletown North academic team placed in the quarterfinals of the 36th Annual Allentown Academic Open. Freshman Eva D'Erico received an honorable mention in the Monmouth County High School Playwriting Festival for her play Zombie Prom Queen. The North Theater Program received 10 Basie Award nominations, including Jimmy Friedley for Featured Performer in a Drama and Featured Actor in a Musical, Riley Higgins for Lead Actress in a Drama, Nicholas Breyer for Lead Actor in a Drama, Amanda Ferrier for Best Direction in a Play, The Diary of Anne Frank for Best Play, Mia Portelli for Supporting Actress in a Drama, Miles Rella for Supporting Actor in a Drama, and Best Stage Crew and Tech Crew, and Best Student Adult Orchestra for Once Upon a Mattress. The following students from Karen Kuzman's Applied Arts and Design classes had their work on display during the MTPS Art Showcase at the Middletown Art Center. Vicky Chen, Ralph Lacuna, Riley Luma, Ava Panzino, Kaylee Pyle, Allison Singerline, Tracy Stanley, Lauren Sotak, Brody Ewell, and Ava Valentino. The following students were winners in the 2026 Young American Creative Patriotic Art Contest, sponsored by the Port Monmouth VFW. Anthony Lizardi Jr., first place, advancing for the chance to win his college scholarship. Olivia Williamson, second place. Amelia LeBaron, third place. And John B. Kumar, fourth place. Congratulations to Robert Davis for winning the Rising Star Award at the Brightside Film Festival. The short film Bullies won runner-up for the best comedy, and I Miss You Luke won runner-up for the best horror short. The Energy Detective was accepted to Dances with Films in Hollywood, and the short film Sister was selected for the 18th Annual Kent Place Film Festival. The Dance Honors students presented Seasons of Dance for their end-of-year showcase on May 13th. The girls' track team placed 3rd overall at the Monmouth County Relays, where Helena Zepp placed 2nd in the girls' distance medley and won the school record by 22 seconds. The girls team also won the B North Divisional Championship at the New Balance Indoor National Championship. Helena Sepp ran in the 2-mile at 10 minutes 47 seconds, just off her own school record time. The distance medley relay of Mia Zawisny, Sam Frett, Isabel Courtney, and Helena Sepp placed in the top 30 in the country. Moving on to boys swim, Jonas Salvador broke a new record at the Meet of Champs in the 50 freestyle with a time of 21:94. And the MHSN wrestling team concluded its season at the state tournament with one of the most historic showings in program history. Thomas Blue became the school's third state championship ever by winning the 106-pound weight class, and Ria Kosovic became the first female wrestler from North to place in the state tournament as she took 6th place. The team finished as the number 6 public school in the tournament. Thank you.
Okay, High School South, Jessica.
Hi everyone, I'm Jessica Cirillo. I'm a senior at Middletown High School South, and I'm here to tell you all the updates about what happened at our school this year. In April, South softball team hosted a free softball clinic for Lincroft Little Leaguers ages 4 to 8. The teams were able to connect with our community and earn volunteer hours. Congratulations to Mr. Ragaseo for being named All-Shore Band Director of the Year. This recognition is earned for positively influencing students, supporting artistic growth, fostering a lifelong appreciation for music, and enriching lives through music education. This award reflects Mr. Ragaseo's commitment to excellence. Congratulations, Mr. Ragaseo. Our senior class won Battle of the Classes and will be having a lunch and field day events on Thursday, June 4th. Well done, seniors. Thank you to the PFA for supplying the lunches. South Junior Prom, a night in New York, will be held at Jocks on May 29th. Senior Prom, Glitz and Glam, will be held on Friday, June 5th at Ocean Place Resort. Relay for Life, a chance to come together in our local community to celebrate cancer survivors, remember loved ones lost, and fight back against cancer. This event will be held at Middletown High School South, June 6th from 5 to 10 p.m. Come join us for this great cause. Student playwrights Delia Carlin and Maria Ansafarova won the Jersey Shore Young Playwrights Festival. Their original plays, Bloom and Empty Chair, were selected to be performed at the festival on April 25th. 5 films from Middletown South were selected to be screened at this year's Count Basie Center Breakthrough Film Festival, with Ethan Castro, Emily Amerborn, Sam Crocker, and Alexa Rowland taking home the awards for Best Animation and Best Debut Filmmaker for their films The Grass is Always Meaner and Butterfly. Additionally, those films took home the Audience Awards for Best Cinematography at the Kent Place School Film Festival, and they were awarded Best Experimental Film and Best Comedy at the upcoming Montclair Emerging Filmmaker Festival. This past weekend, the Middletown South team, esports team, competed in the Garden State Esports Spring Championship at Georgian Court University. We had 3 teams make it into the playoffs, which is a first for Middletown South. More importantly, these were our results. In Rocket League, we came in 4th place. Mario Kart Championship team came in 2nd, and Mario Kart Valkyrie team came in 1st and won state championships. We also had 3 students named All-Stars for the year. This honor is given to players who were consistently chosen as MVPs by the opposing coach. Our All-Stars were Evan Thompson, a senior at Middletown South. He plays Super Smash Bros. Caden Leak, a sophomore who plays Overwatch, and Kosif Chabowski, a freshman who plays Rocket League. I'm not sure if this is my last opportunity to address the board and community, but if it is, I would like to say thank you for giving me this platform to speak each month and express what activities we're doing at South. It has been an honor to represent my high school as senior class president and to talk and update you on the amazing things that we do. So thank you.
Thank you.
Now I have a presentation, student safety data system.
evening. I'm Meg Young. I'm the District Director of Student Support Services. Tonight, I am going to present briefly on our SSDS system, Student Safety Data System, and our HIP grades.
Our next presentation is from Alera Group. They are a health benefits broker. We have with us tonight Rich Kaczynski, Katie Foley, and Mark Weaver. This is the team we work with, and we talk to them a lot. So they're going to just present for the board some highlights of some of the initiatives that we've been doing and an overall look at our self-insurance program. So Mr. Kaczynski, you're going to start.
Thank you for having us, everybody. This is just going to be a high-level overview, kind of what's gone on over the last couple of years. You can go to the next slide. Just to put things in perspective, medical trend. I'm going to turn it over to Mark.
I get to talk about drugs. Pharmacy. Next slide, please.
Yeah, next slide.
Sorry about that, guys.
So the good news is we were able to deliver $2 million in savings, and these are hard dollars. This isn't kind of like the soft cost avoidance stuff. This is actual dollars back in your account, primarily through contract improvements around rebates and audits and basic utilization management protections. Next slide. That kind of just is exactly what I said, right? I just wanted to step through. There was a couple different parts of contract negotiation that happened earlier on, and we appreciate your patience because a lot of times we have to wait 90, 120, 180 days for kind of like the contract term to kick in. But this is the timeline of when we started the different contract negotiations and when things started coming in, right? When the biosimilar audit happened, when the different rebates kicked in. So this is just a timeline of all the steps that we took. Then the next slide, want to give you a visual representation. So on the left, the top blue line is your gross cost. So that's how much you pay every month in drugs. The orange line is the net cost. So you get rebates back every quarter. That takes what your gross was down to your net. So the orange is what you actually wound up paying after you get that rebate back. And the arrow that you see, that's when we started feeling in additional rebate dollars. So that's where you start to see the lines kind of separate, because the gross keeps going up, but the net keeps going down because we were able to negotiate a better deal for you. And the bar chart on the right shows kind of like historical in quarters from 23 to 26, the most recent. And you see how it kind of was pretty middling around like $300,000 back quarterly in rebates. And then you see the fourth quarter, 25, in so December you got the 610,000, and then in the first quarter of 26, in March, it's almost 800,000, and then we are predicting ongoing, well, without significant changes in utilization, it'll stay at the $800,000 a quarter back. So we appreciate your patience.
Just to be clear on one thing for everybody, rebates are dollars coming back to the district, so it's money coming back to you based off the utilization. That's an admin to change your contract, which is why you see that spike.
So that's the pharmacy.
And we can go to the next slide. And just some additional cost-saving measures. You all implementing Itch Help, which supports district members that are struggling with musculoskeletal issues. The projected savings on that is $150,000. We're able to implement virtual care at no additional cost for you all, which is $45,000. We're able to reduce your administration fees, which is the cost to just administer the plan, by $30,000. We implemented a national advantage program to really negotiate out-of-network claims, which is $60,000, and we were able to get you all a wellness credit of $20,000 a year. So it's an extra $500,000 of additional savings there. But also, when we first started working with you all, we recognized that there were some gaps in your stop-loss contract, which is your overall protection. That's what protects the district. So we identified the gaps and we filled them in this renewal. Okay? So we were able to extend the terms of the contract so they have no gaps in coverage where there could have been a large claim that may have not yet paid within the terms of the contract, which could have been a liability. That's completely solved now. And then we also put rate protection on there, meaning, unfortunately, in the years of doing this, we've seen some employers, some not-for-profits, some public sectors get north of 100% increase on their stop-loss premium because the claims have run so bad. What we're able to do is we're able to negotiate in a rate cap of 50%, so that is, regardless of how poor you run, it would be a 50% increase, but just on the stop-loss premium, it's only a small percentage of your overall cost, so having that additional protection is a good thing.
The other important thing we're able to negotiate in is the idea of no new lasers. The other item we're able to negotiate in is the idea of no new lasers. So when you have a stop-loss contract, what stop-loss insurance carriers can do is they can say, oh, this is someone who is sick, and so now we're going to not cover them at the regular level, we're going to make you pay additional premium. Currently in your stop-loss contract, when we inherited it, there were already 2 lasers. The new contract has no new lasers, so that can't occur again, and that's an additional layer of financial protection for the township. The other item we were able to negotiate into the new contract is expedited reimbursement processing. When there is a large claimant, it is sometimes a lengthier process of going back and forth and determining eligibility and double checking plan design, and the expedited process will ensure for claims that exceed that threshold over $100,000 that you're reimbursed within 5 days to maintain cash flow. Next slide, please. And then just some other items to note. We've implemented the Health Advocate call center. This is experts on the line for staff, recognizing that everybody comes on site and time is of the essence to have access to technical experts in regard to healthcare. This goes for anyone in your family. It could also help for Medicare questions. So this is a robust program that's offered to anyone on our health plan. The data warehouse, when you're self-insured, it's really important that we look at your data outside of Aetna, because we don't want to see Aetna spin on that data We want to see the raw data, we want to digest it ourselves, and we want to be able to double check it. And so we've implemented the Vital Insight as our data warehouse, third party. With that is how, on the pharmacy side, Mark, who you're looking at here, checks every month. We get reports, he checks the pharmacy, and he was able to see that we're being incorrectly charged for biosimilars and was able to save over $100,000 by doing that. So it's an extra level. You know, I'm checking on the medical side to make sure everything's administered as it should be, and so it's another way to help audit the plan, not just annually, but on a monthly basis. And then our wellness allowance that allows us to, that is something that's more prevalent in the marketplace now, and it's just an annual allowance of $20,000 that can be used to support employee health and well-being experience. Another major thing that we did is change our communications, right? We offer employees great benefits, and let's just let them know that, right? So custom communications and a benefit guide, benefit at a glance, recognizing that sometimes it's our partners at home that are actually digesting this information. And so that paired with our health advocate is really enhancing the employee experience. We have targeted postcards to discuss our new virtual care, our new Minute Clinic alliance. And then to close out our new benefits, we've expanded our voluntary benefits, just recognizing that everyone has diverse needs and priorities and wanting to make sure that we're really offering a well-rounded benefit to our whole population. So last year we implemented Vision. This year we're going to implement accident, legal, and ID theft protection that employees can get at their own level. Any questions? And we do just want to thank the board for the partnership, and Amy, you know, we meet at least weekly to really go over all the in-depth and make sure that the plan is running as is and to enhance the employee experience, so we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Next up, strategic planning.
Thank you. So myself and Mr. Cullen are going to talk briefly about the process for strategic planning moving forward. I first just want to draw attention back to last year where we spent a lot of time with Tim Team from New Jersey School Boards and had 3 community sessions where we spent a tremendous amount of time. Many of you sitting in the audience participated in that, which certainly was appreciated. And I do believe that we got a lot out of that. We got a lot of good information, and I don't want the community to think that was all for naught. I think it's really important that, we still have that information, it's still relevant, and it will be the springboard for us moving forward with strategic planning. We put out a new survey last week, obviously, to the community for people that wanted to continue participating in that process, most certainly in the steering committee work and the subcommittee work. We decided to do that because we knew that some people may have chosen to opt out moving forward. Many people who were involved may have had children that graduated. And we also, I think, had some new interests, and we did see some new names and faces come up on this new survey. So what Mr. Cullen and I are working on now is we are taking that information and we are crafting our subcommittees. Those subcommittees will be aligned to those priority and goal areas that were identified by the community back in May and June of last year. So when we reconvene, we will then begin just working right away on fine-tuning those goals, evaluating the objectives that were brought forward by the community, and then starting to develop action plans to implement those things. So if you recall, this is a 5-year time span. So certainly there's going to be a lot of conversation on when and how all these actions within the plan unfold. But that is our priority, is to get those subcommittees formed, and we're going to be emailing those individuals with information in the next, I would say, week or so, And Mr. Cullen's gonna talk a little bit more about how this is gonna unfold throughout the summer months, because our intention is to work throughout the summer to get that strategic plan, hopefully, in a way that can be presented to the public and then approved by the board in the fall. So, Mr. Cullen, I'm going to turn it over to you because I'm going to be passing the baton next month to Mr. Cullen, but certainly in very capable hands. But he's going to talk more about the dates and the timeline.
Always appreciated Dr. Alphone, and I know that strategic planning is something that she actually wrote her dissertation on strategic planning, so it's something that she gets excited to speak with us all about. And Dr. Alphone did reference that we worked alongside NJ school boards for 3 very comprehensive sessions last year. And the outcomes of those sessions are undoubtedly going to drive our process moving forward. So as a quick summary, session 1 was on May 29th, and we examined our district, enabling us to identify very specific strengths and challenges. On June 16th, we developed a vision as well as specific initiatives for the future. And those initiatives for the future look ahead, but also embrace our rich history and the traditions that exist here in Middletown. On August 28th, we talked about goal areas, and those 5 very specific goal areas that emerged from our ongoing dialogue with our stakeholders were 1, community engagement, 2, school climate and culture, 3, student learning achievement and experience, and that does include special education, I want to be clear on that, 4, facilities and finance, and 5, communication. I also want to make note that the information from those sessions is available on our website in the Board of Education section under strategic planning. You can get all of the information from the sessions that we worked alongside school boards with. I'm very eager to start the process again, and believe it or not, it's already underway. So our administrative team is making preparations, we're analyzing the information that we had accumulated from those meetings, and we're having our internal dialogue about how we can get ourselves ready to roll this out in our steering committees. So as Dr. Alphone was stating, we do have approximately 100, I want to say approximately 100 members of the steering committee. So today we were assigning individuals to those respective committees, and we will be communicating with the members of the steering committee the very specific dates that we'll be meeting to do that important work. I also want to note that we have administrators who are going to be leading the dialogue for those committee sessions. So for community engagement, we have Mr. Kirkpatrick and Dr. Young. For school climate and culture, we have Mrs. Granger and Ms. Schreck. For student learning achievement and experience, we have Mr. Cullen, myself, and Dr. Kerrigan. For facilities and finance, we have Mrs. Doherty and Mr. Valente. And for communication, we have Dr. Ranella and we have Mrs. Orozco. So at that time, I will proudly serve as the interim superintendent. So my apologies to Dr. Kerrigan, who will probably be doing a lot of the dialogue in the student achievement section, because it will enable me to visit each of the other 4 sections, and of course that session as well, so that I can contribute to that dialogue. It's also important to note that those conversations are going to continue in our Board of Ed committee sessions, and we will be reporting out on those from our committees, and I'll provide information in the superintendent update as well. For the most part, that summarizes the process at this point, so please know that these sessions will be happening over the summer, and of course, regular updates will be shared with our stakeholders as this journey unfolds. We'll be sure to keep everybody updated as we look to strengthen our future and of course honor our past traditions as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Alphone and Mr. Cullen. Committee reports. Co-curricular, Mr. Saporowski.
So we met on May 1st, and we got a update of the clubs and activities with the end of year of advisor evaluations are currently underway, and buildings will start the process of completing their end of year reports, which offers detailed information relative to club meetings, attendance, and participation. And this information will allow building level administration to analyze stipends for clubs for the following year. And then an update on Genesis, which is going to be used. All high school and middle school clubs will now have an active Genesis dashboard for advisors to use in the spring season. And that helps with attendance, it eliminates paperwork, and it tracks eligibility of participants, and it centralizes communication to the Genesis board. And athletics will also use the dashboard. It has features for coaches to track the sports. And then the spring sports update, the regular season is about half over. NJSIAA state sectional track at High School North will be May 15th and 16th. And fall coaches are going to be on the May or June agenda. Let's see on here, so I guess on the June. And then we have a new athletics director, Pete Smith. Congratulations.
Okay, next up, curriculum, Ms. Wright.
Yes, thank you. So our committee met on Thursday, May 14th. Once again, as our committee always does, is we did have further curriculum guides to review. This time, we were able to go through French 5 and 6 honors, and Dr. Kerrigan was actually able to help us examine the curriculum guide, and also wanting to note again that this class is offered as a Seton Hall University dual enrollment course, which is a great opportunity for our students. We also had the opportunity to once again look at the district's comprehensive curriculum guide site, which again, as we continue to review a lot of these curriculum guides, that particular site is always updated. And again, really appreciative of all the work that goes into it. We quickly reviewed the letter that went out to the committee about high school final exams. The exams will be administered from June 11th through June 18th. With designated A and B day makeup sessions to conclude the school year, and we just want to wish all the students that are getting ready to take their exams the best of luck. We were able to discuss again the community letter that went out alerting parents of students in grades 3 through 5 about the cursive handwriting that will now be incorporated into learning standards for next school year. And again, I think we all just had a moment to say what a great thing this is actually to bring this back into school. You know, unfortunately, there was a big chunk of students that missed this, but we're really glad to see this being incorporated back into the learning standards. We talked about the Battle of the Books competition. This is a 5th grade Battle of the Books trivia competition that basically has students really understanding and highlighting their strong understanding of class novels that they are given to read, and then we have them going up on stage to really being featured in terms of how well they comprehend these novels that they're reading, the trivia questions about them that they're asked. It's really great to see. And these schools that participate in the Battle of the Books is Leonardo, Navesink, Lincroft, and Fairview, which then really led to, I think, a great discussion amongst the committee about how we can expand this district-wide. And so there is now discussion about a possible 5th grade spelling bee that may be taking place in the future for all schools. So more to come on that. We talked about advanced placement, summer advantage fairs, and assignments. To note, I know this has gone out, but just want to make sure that everybody is aware. The upcoming AP Advantage fairs are going to be held at High School North on May 26th and High School South on May 27th, so next week. These events provide authentic opportunities for current students and teachers to engage in dialogue with students who are planning to take AP courses next year, supporting a clear understanding of course expectations and informed decision-making. And additionally, AP course assignments will be shared via email and posted on the district website tomorrow, May 20th. We once again got to look at the summer reading programs for all levels that are going to be happening this summer for elementary school, middle school, and high school. I believe that information is also going to be shared with families via email tomorrow, May 20th. So please be on the lookout for that. We just went through the NJ, SLA, and AP administration. Those exams happened between May 4th and the 5th. We do want to note again tonight, we had one of our students who received the New Jersey Council for Social Studies Excellent in Education Award, and that was given to Elena Burns, a senior at High School South, who got this distinction for earning the New Jersey Council for Social Studies Excellence in Education Award, and it basically distinguished honor reflects her outstanding achievement across multiple social studies courses and exemplifying her academic excellence and a strong commitment to learning. So congratulations once again to Elena Burns. As we heard earlier, we also found out about the BASIE Award nominations, so we're really excited to see that between North and South students, they were basically nominated for 30 BASIE Award nominations this year, which is an outstanding achievement.
And Ms. Wright, the awards are coming through. My phone is dinging because we were nominated for several awards and we're winning.
Ooh!
Winning.
Excellent. We have upcoming graduations. I cannot believe that we're already here for this, but we have our middle schools graduating on June 17th at High School South, and then North and South will be graduating on June 18th. And so on the voting agenda, all of you can see, once again, as usual, we do have professional development that we'll be voting on tonight. We also talked, and it's on the voting agenda tonight, about the agreement that we have with Yeshiva University, which is to provide internship opportunities for graduate speech and language pathology students in MTPS schools. And I believe that's it for our curriculum.
Thank you. Facilities, Ms. Newman.
Mine's not quite as exciting as Deb's.
We
There was
do
a lot
all
of
the
great
fun
things
stuff.
on there. I do have facilities though. Okay, in our committee, we met on May 11th. We discussed the agenda items for tonight, the boiler bid renewal. This is a renewal of a current year bid that included pricing for 2 years, so there's no increase. The committee also discussed the proposed Verizon easement that is recommended to go on to High School South's property, but wants more discussion before recommending a placement on the board's voting agenda. Current facilities issues. High School North baseball field update. The sprinkler system is being mapped in preparation for moving heads that are in the clay areas. If anybody knows the past history, there were sprinkler systems out there in the past and there was an issue, and somehow the heads got cut off, so there's no water back there. So we are working on fixing that issue so that the baseball field can be improved. New Monmouth Playground update. The PTA's equipment is being installed. It should be installed by now. I believe I was there.
It is.
I was there like a week ago, beautiful job. And hopefully it's gonna get even better when they use the money that was in the budget for more pieces. The playground mulch was due Friday, as well as the rubber border ties. Admin is meeting with the PTA to discuss the future improvements. On Thursday, 5/14 they met. So you met with Erin.
We did, and we're having another meeting this week to talk about some more specifics, so we'll keep everybody updated.
Yeah, it's a great time for them to be purchasing that equipment. There's a lot of sales in those companies, so you get more for your money. Environmental testing update, an update from the district's industrial hygienist was shared with the committee regarding large particles that were blowing out of some units. Graduation prep, power washing, and bleacher repairs are in progress to prepare the grounds for graduation, which will be here before we know it. Interior air quality, a letter was received alleging deficiencies in the district's program. The allegations were responded to by the district admin and forwarded to legal representation. Since then, the entire board has gotten copies of the remediation from Mr. Nazar. And he was here tonight, and they have been remediated, and there's no other issues to the district that needs to go forward. We all care about our children's safety and the health and safety in the buildings, and we feel that Mr. Nazar has done a good job in jumping on that. With that being said, I do want to say that we need to follow the chain of command. When a parent tells us something, we can't forget what they tell us, but we can send them to the right direction on how to get this stuff remediated. And if we do that, it's gonna get done a lot quicker than somebody just waiting around like an I got you type of thing. I'm not saying this is at all, but over the years, people say, oh, you know, they come to meetings and say, well, we knew this a month ago. Well, if you knew it a month ago, tell it to the right people so we can address it immediately. And I think that we have done that. According to the reports that we have read, they're pretty informed, and I'm sure, I heard there's an article out tonight. I hope parents don't panic because we did remediate it. And as far as we're told, as board members, it's completed. So I just don't want anybody to panic when they read an article that might already be addressed. We also talked about the 26-27 capital items. The Harmony curb replacement, the district has reached out to its architect to state the planning process for this project. Timing needs to be determined. High school south door replacement, the district has also reached out to its architect regarding this project, which involves the replacement of 2 banks of doors. The main entrance doors and the doors that lead to the cafeteria. Lead time on these doors being ordered could be months, several months at least. So we're starting the process and hopefully we'll get them a lot sooner than 7 months. Monmouth County Historical Commission Preservation Award. The Lincroft Annex has been honored with this award. The district applied for this award for the work done at the Lincroft Annex building and has been notified that the project is being recognized with this award. An award ceremony will take place Monday, June 7th at 7 p.m. in the County Commissioners Meeting Room in Freehold. Supervisors are going over to this building on May 29th to get acquainted with it, and the students will be going over to see the building on June 1st. Long Range Facilities Plan Committee, Mrs. Doherty informed the committee that the district is forming an ad hoc committee to focus solely on Long Range Facilities Plan. The committee will consist of 4 board members and district administration. The Long Range Facility Plan has historically been reviewed and updated every 5 years and amended when specific projects necessitated. The district needs and the scope of its responsibilities have continued to evolve alongside change in enrollment, programming, and infrastructure demands. At this time, the district is at a critical juncture in which facilities requirements and financial pressures must be addressed. It is also in the unique position of being within a few years of entirely paying off its bonds. This presents the opportunity to potentially replace this debt with new debt to fund a large scope of maintenance and improvement projects. The work of this committee will include all aspects of the long-range facility plan, building maintenance and improvement needs, building programming, capacity, and consideration of enrollment projects. It will also interface with the strategic plan and the district's architect when appropriate. We also talked about starting to plan for next year's budget. It's time. The master facilities plan assessment and budget are our next steps in our committee.
I just want to add that when we talked about the Long Range Facilities Plan Committee, Mrs. Torres and Mrs. Minuit have already expressed interest in participating. I would like to have 2 more board members, and we weren't limiting it to the Facilities Committee, join that committee, and we would want to start work as soon as possible. We did talk about in the Facilities Committee how it's going to require a lot of face time and discussion. So we know it's a lot to ask. You're all volunteers, but we do need to really put in some serious time discussing and analyzing things. As we've been talking about all along, we are at a critical juncture here, and we do need to get the board on. I don't want to board on board with looking at all of these things and to start actually moving forward and even understanding. It's become apparent and obvious, and that not everybody is at the same level of knowing what's happening with the long-range facilities plan or what goes into it, and because you've all been on the board different periods of time, and so we really would like to have 2 more people who would be interested to do that. Mr. Soporowski, 3.
I'm
Well,
Mrs.
wait, I know because there's 2 board members not here, the facilities committee, I think we all expressed an interest on being in. It is a large time commitment for this particular committee. So I think what we should do is probably appoint the chair of the committee, like a regular committee, and include some of the members of the facilities and just see who else is, wants to be on the committee, and then we can take it.
I think that's what you said, right?
Well, we had 2 members from the facilities committee that had said definitely at that time.
Yeah, and I think you're saying we should open it up to the entire board.
Well, right, that's what, right.
Right.
I would like to put my name in.
Okay,
So
Mrs.
Mark-
Weinstein, Mr. Soporowski. Well, I mean,
I'd be interested, but however you want to dig it up.
you all can decide, but, we 4 members, we have to limit it to 4 so we can have committee meetings, so.
Okay, why don't you check with Katarina or Jackie and see who's available and we'll do it. But we should get it put together fairly quickly, so.
Yes, I can email the whole board tomorrow and I can let everybody know who's interested.
Excellent. Anything else, Ms. Minuis?
No, that was it for me.
Okay. Finance, we met, the committee met on May 11th. May meeting agenda, items discussed, special education contracted services, home instruction contracted services. We have professional service appointments coming up, with the exception of special education and attorney and the auditor, they're not included. RFPs are going to be issued and appointments will be planned for June.
Actually, the RFPs have gone out as of today, so they're advertised, they're up on the state portal, and the due date for both of them is June 5th, Friday, June 5th.
Okay, so we should have those for the June meeting. We also discussed the food service management company. Ms. Doherty shared that this is the 3rd renewal of this contract out of 4 permissible renewals. The district's planning on conducting a competitive process next year for 27-28. I know I did see a couple of emails floating back and forth between the food service committee on the pricing, which is also on. Does anybody have anything that they want to share with Jones
I just
on that?
wanted to bring
Zara.
Oh, sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
Well, I know.
So I know we were going back and forth, there was a recommendation to increase the pricing by 15 cents, right? Just because of increase in employee costs and whatnot, and then we were discussing an additional increase to be able to better the quality of the food next year. And based upon some of the estimates that we saw from Whitson's, in order to be able to make a significant change, that amount would have to be an additional 50 cents per meal, but we only added an additional 10 cents for the 25% increase. So I just kind of wanted to see what we could do there. It feels like 15 cents is required, right? As far as needing more money for the staffing and general increases. Adding an additional 10 cents, I don't think is gonna move the needle anywhere. I don't wanna add additional money if we're not gonna be able to do anything with it and we're only gonna add profit. So it feels like we either need to do the 15 cents or we would actually have to go to 65 cents if we were looking to make a meaningful change in the quality of the food. So I just kind of wanted to, because we were going back and forth on that, and then you settled on the 25 cents, but it felt like not a reasonable change. Like there wasn't enough evidence to back that change. So I just kind of wanted to bring that up and see, I know we're kind of on a deadline with that, what we could do to address that. Just because I don't want to add an additional 10 cents for no reason, because I don't think based on anything that we receive from Whitson's that would be able to actually get us anywhere as far as like a quality increase. I don't know if there's anything else that can be discussed at this time. I know it's a very specific matter and I don't want to hold up the meeting.
No, I just don't want to share the other information that went around in the emails, and we do use the increases not only to cover necessary increases, but we also use, it's not that we're building profit. First of all, I just want to remind everybody, this is the district's food service fund, so it's not Whitson's making more money if we raise the prices of the food. This goes into our food service fund, but we use it for more than food. I mean, everything that's in the kitchens and involved in the cafeterias, serving lines, that's all paid for by the food service fund. So as I was explaining in the emails that went around, I mean, looking at buying different food or looking at that is one aspect of how the funds are used, but we also use it to also improve our facilities, replace our equipment, all the ovens, all the dishwashers, everything else, that's all ours. So that any money that we have available to do that, to replace equipment, is helpful. So we did increase, just so the board knows the history, we did not increase prices last year. We did increase them 25 cents 2 years ago. It is good to, and the maximum price, we could go up, I think it was another $1.25. So we are well below what the maximum price is for a school lunch at this point. I felt that, we did initially talk about 15 cents because we were looking at not investing any more in the program. I do think 25 cents is not an unreasonable amount considering that we didn't increase last year, and it will add to the ability of what we can do within the program, whether it's food or other things the program requires.
And I don't think it's unreasonable at all. I just think that, I don't know based on what we've seen that it's actually gonna be able to change anything when it comes to food. Like, I understand it's gonna be able to change things with the service, and of course we have to support that. But if we're not, I don't wanna be in a position where we're raising it every single year. So if we're gonna raise it maybe every other year, I just thought that maybe, based on the estimates that we saw for bettering meat or bettering any other type of food, we were looking at maybe a 50-cent per meal increase. So I just kind of wanted to bring that up. I don't want to feel handicapped next year if we were trying to make improvements where that money, of course, is going to go to better the facilities and everything we need. I don't know if our provider right now is going to be able to work within that increase to make any meaningful changes, is all I'm saying, based upon all of the data that we saw. And I'm not saying that that's going to go to profit to them. It's just, I understand that we need to better our services, but then there's also the food that we're feeding the children, which I think is very important to make sure that it's healthy, we're reducing chemicals, we're reducing preservatives, and ensuring that we're feeding children the best possible quality foods that we can. And I don't know with that increase if we're going to be able to do that.
So the information that we had so far from Whitson's was just on a couple of specific things that were looked at, chicken, beef.
Right.
I mean, we, as we were discussing amongst ourselves, we certainly can take a look at, other areas or other avenues, to use the additional revenue and apply that to food costs. But, again, the meal, this is an agenda item. It's up to the board to vote. The recommendation on the agenda is the 25% increase. If you want to have a discussion on it, that's up to the board.
Okay.
Well, I thought in committee we agreed to 15 cents.
We talked about that in the finance committee, yes, we did, and that was the initial.
It's on for 25 cents on the agenda.
Right, it's on, and we're explaining why, why it went to, we did decide to change it. Members of the food service committee had contacted me and said, they wanted to be part of the discussion. And although we typically haven't done that, it was a good discussion. And, there were some reasons why, we decided to consider more of an increase. And again, it's really in line with what we did 2 years ago. And we are well below, the
Yeah, and I think
maximum
that's the important thing.
meal
to
price.
mention. We're way below the regular average.
Amy,
What's the regular average?
Well, it's the maximum food price, which was, and I don't have my notes in front of me, they're in the book, but I
What's
believe
the regular average?
it's over $5 a meal for it, which is the maximum price that you can charge as being part of the food service program.
I think we should skip it.
Well, when we vote on it, we can have a discussion then.
well, I have some comments to
Go ahead.
make on that, because I'm getting the impression in our emails going back and forth that some people don't feel that the food we're serving our kids is healthy, or it might affect their health. Are we following all the state guidelines when we're providing food?
Yes, we're required to.
So that statement should not be put out there, because that's another thing that's gonna upset people. The other thing is, we're waiting for our survey from Winston's, right? Just because we as board members, and I'm included in the food service, it's not our personal opinion on what gets changed. It should be presented with the parents and the people that are purchasing the lunch, right? So I think before we start making any moves about changes, which I'm all for change as long as it's good, but not everybody wants organic, and not everybody doesn't want organic. we need to get those surveys back and find out what it is that the parents want changed. My concern about going up to 65 cents is people can't afford it. And I think that a lot of times we forget that there are people out there that can't afford it, and we could be taking food from kids' mouths. Just because we can afford it or our neighbors could afford it, doesn't mean everybody can. Not everybody applies for a free and reduced lunch because it's pride. We shouldn't be strapping people down just because we want to make a big move. If we want to make a big move and change things, then we got to find a way in that contract to do it, not by just throwing a price tag at the public. I mean, that's what contracts are for.
I'm with you on raising costs across the board for everything. So,
Well, I was okay with the 15 cents. I just think if we're, if 2 years from now we find we need more, that's another story, but right now, I don't think that's such a great idea. Because we don't know where we're going, and next year we're going out for an RFP for a food service. That's all, upgrades are all part of a contract. That's what we should be looking for. It's just my opinion. I just don't think that it should be done by us individual board members. It should be done by a community
it could be
that's
discussed.
paying the price.
We'll wait for the survey and it'll be discussed in committee.
Yeah, the survey should be coming by our June meeting from what I
But I just,
discern.
and I know Mrs. Weinstein referred to this, I just want to make sure the board does realize that we do need to submit this information by the end of May. So you will have to take a vote on this information this evening. We can have continuing discussions and, talk about how, right now the agenda is reflecting 25 cents, which we thought was reasonable.
We agreed on that committee.
All right, this is,
This process is off. We agreed in committee on 15 cents, and now it's on the agenda for 25 cents, so the process is definitely off. Why did we go through the process of talking about it so in finance if it was going to be changed? It doesn't make a lot of sense.
next I have is sponsorship promoter. This is on the agenda. This is the first renewal of this contract out for 4 permissible renewals. The committee discussed the low level of sponsorship revenue so far, which was year 1. Amy, do we have the number for year 1 sponsorships? Or the revenue, I should say?
The total revenue?
Yeah.
I didn't bring it with me. I can certainly, let the board know what it is at this point.
Okay.
I apologize. if I
No,
didn't bring that
that's fine.
information with me.
That's fine. The district will monitor.
If you want me to just ballpark it, it was in the area of, maybe 10,000 or so for this current year.
Okay. About how much?
About 10,000, I believe, but, I will get you an exact number tomorrow.
And what's our contract with them? How much do we pay them?
Well, we pay them on, they only get paid on what's sold. So
Okay.
they get 30% of whatever the ads are. So when I'm saying that's our revenue, and then they get a commission on what they sell.
So they
We
only
don't
get
pay
paid-
them a fee.
They only get paid.
They only get paid when advertising is sold, yes.
Okay, all right, that's what I wanted to know. So anyway, we'll be monitoring that activity for the upcoming year, and then we'll make a decision whether to look at other options for the following year. We also have substitute staffing service. This is the last permissible renewal of this contract. The district will conduct a competitive process next year for 27-28 school year.
Mr. Vita, can I just ask, because I know in
Sure.
I didn't realize this was what we were talking about with I'm assuming this is ESS?
Yes.
Okay. What is the process for that? What does that look like so that I know what to look for next year? Like, when will that start to come up? Does it go for an RFP, or are there people that bring in bids? How does
We
that work?
actually, we do a competitive contracting process, which is, for lack of a better explanation, a hybrid between an RFP and a bid. You do have to advertise it, and it's, sealed proposals as a bid would be, but you can use a rubric instead of going by cost alone. Cost has to be the biggest factor, but you can use other factors to score the responses.
Like
So-
the things that we were talking about when I was questioning them, those are part of the rubric, I'm assuming?
Well,
Like-
we look at, their, like what they're proposing for, how they would bring, like increase our fill rate and things of that nature. We haven't done it in 4 years now, so we would be going out next year. But we would want to do that probably in the late fall, so, we would have time to, score it, evaluate it and get a recommendation. If for some reason the district was going to make a change, we would need time to implement that.
Okay, thank you. And that would be more like on the finance committee in the fall. We could look for that?
Yes, yeah.
Thank you.
Next up, the we discussed NJCCIC cybersecurity grant. That's the New Jersey Cybersecurity and Communications Integration Cell. The district applied for and received this grant for 4 years beginning in 26-27. This grant will provide funding for advanced endpoint protection solution consisting of the CrowdStrike Falcon endpoint detection and response solution with 24/7 managed detection and response and outwatch services provided by CrowdStrike in conjunction with the NJCCIC. These solutions are included in the 26-27 budget that the district will now be receiving funding for. For 26-27, these solutions will be fully funded by the grant, and then the funding amount also reduces to 80%, 70%, and 60% over the following 3 years, saves us about $85,000 per year of a total of $345,000 for the.
We would have talked about it in technology, but we had not received notification of the award at that time, so that's why it was here.
NJSBA healthcare cost resolution. The committee discussed the resolution provided by the district to the district by New Jersey School Boards Association related to rising healthcare costs for the school districts and the financial burden it is causing. The NJSBA is encouraging districts to pass the resolution and forward it to their legislators. Committee decided just to hold off on this, and we'll be considering that for June.
Can you send that to us? Because I've seen it in other districts, and I think it's really.
Was that circulated to the whole? I thought
It was not.
I guess it didn't go to the whole board.
thought
The
it
school
did.
board sent it to us, and
I would like to see it.
Yeah,
'Cause
yeah, I can send
I
it.
think it's
School board sent it
important.
out, so-
Yeah, I didn't see it. I mean, I saw it not directed from us here, but I think that it's important for us as a board to pass this because clearly healthcare and the cost of healthcare is a major driver for not just our district, but every district. So why are we not, as a county and as a board, contributing to that for the county? So I think it's an important resolution for us to pass.
I don't think it's binding or anything.
It's not binding, but it's a show of everybody together having the same issues. So it's an issue we have. Why wouldn't we contribute?
Okay. Can you? just make-
I will
make sure
circulate
everybody-
it to
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, I remember seeing it from school.
And if we could put it on the June agenda, I would appreciate it.
Yeah, we were gonna continue the discussion in the June finance meeting, but yes, absolutely. You had the Alara presentation, district's health insurance broker did their presentation. The 26-27 budget and beyond, the committee reviewed and updated the 26-27 budget that makes adjustments to compensate for the planned school closures that are not happening for the 26-27 school year. The plan consisted of a reduction of the maintenance reserve deposit, not filling several vacant positions that were budgeted for, the elimination of the playground and bathroom installations at Bay Shore, realizations of savings on the district's stop loss renewal. These adjustments were submitted to the county office, and we did receive approval for that. We also went over a high-level 5-year outlook, discussed different 5-year projections based on varying scenarios, different level of state aids, different amounts of tax increases, etc. There'll be more discussions on that obviously going forward. Just to note, a difference in the tax levy increase in year of 1%, which is about $2 million for us, I believe. Compounds differently over a 5-year period, but again, we would take into consideration differences in state aids, either increasing slightly or staying flat. So with all those different scenarios, the projections will differ. The projections reviewed are based on the current level of capital spending, which is low. Increasing capital expenditures on an annual basis would have a significant impact on our budgets. State aid funding and tax levy increases cannot be guaranteed, which makes planning all the more difficult. But even without an increased level of capital spending, 3 out of 4 scenarios that we discussed result in our expenses outpacing our revenues over the next 5 years based on status quo or doing nothing, just staying the same. That's it for finance. Next up, personnel we discussed in executive. Student services, Ms. Torres.
Thank you to Mr. Cullen and Ms. Wright. I was unable last minute to make the meeting, but both filled me in on what happened. First, Autism Acceptance Month was in April. All 16 schools did the human ribbons that they had talked about, where they took pictures of the whole school outside as human ribbons. And it recognized that each district, school had creativity and teamwork and collaboration for creating these photographs. And it gave students and staff an opportunity to reflect on Autism Awareness Month and highlighted the commitment to inclusive education and fostering acceptance, understanding, and belonging for all learners. And a lot of the conversation was about how in actually doing the activities and participating, it led to more authentic conversations with the kids. So also over the summer, I believe, Mr. Cullen, that's when lots of the pictures will be coming out, so we'll be seeing those. The students at the annex, the Lincroft Annex, the materials are arriving, the furniture is arranged, we have the program mission, we talked about the typical day. The students are visiting on Monday, June 1st, and they are now going to be called, they're renaming it the Workforce Academy of Middletown at the Lincroft Annex, as I believe that's the final name or the potential final name, correct?
It's just about
Just about there? Okay.
Workforce Academy of Middletown.
I didn't want
Lots
to
of
lock it in if I was not quite there. The excitement is continuing to build as the furniture is arriving, and the skill development, the apartment, the kitchen spaces are prepared for the student use. The hands-on environments are designed to promote confidence, independence, and future success. In addition, like I said, June 1st, the students and staff will be there. For the extended school year, the planning is just about done. We have approximately 97 elementary and 75 secondary students attending this program. I believe it is at Thorn and Harmony. The autism program baseball game was on Friday, May 15th, where high school South's varsity baseball team joined the students from the MD Autism and Transition programs for an inclusive wiffle ball game, celebrating the connection, teamwork, and community. The event highlighted the value of inclusive experience in fostering peer relationships, empathy, leadership, and meaningful learning opportunities for all students. On June 2nd, for the PD, while the K-5 is working on the Amplified Desmos program that's starting next year, the other grade levels, especially middle school, is going to be focusing on specialized instruction, IEPs, and inclusive education. And finally, the unified kickball game was officially scheduled for May 20th at Brick Memorial High School. The teams will be there at 5:15, kickoff is at 6. So if anybody is available and able to go, it sounds like it's going to be a great event on May 20th, tomorrow.
Ms. Torres, unfortunately,
Yes. Oh, no.
the long-awaited kickball game was just postponed again.
Because of the
So,
heat?
I haven't gotten all the specifics, but that game, again, we're all very excited for it. Our unified program continues to grow, and I did receive word that that game will be postponed.
Oh,
So
no.
we're looking at an opportunity with busing. We have busing available during the day.
Okay.
So we're going to work with Brick Memorial to try to do a day game.
Oh, great.
In the near future.
Who knew we'd have this heat wave before Memorial Day? It would be nice if it held off just a couple more days, but there we are.
Just be nice.
And that concludes the report. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Torres. Technology, Ms. Weinstein.
We had a brief meeting on May 1st. So first and foremost, the 2026 Student Summer Internship Program is renewing this year. It's their 10th year of internship. So over the summer, students are going to attend Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. And they will be included in projects such as setting up and prepping new Chromebooks, repairing and cannibalizing old Chromebooks, inventory of all classroom technologies, setting up and testing of classroom equipment after cleaning, box light configurations, and classroom lab PC replacements. So they're going to have a ton of Q&A time with multiple staff at the schools, and they're going to be able to learn how their network works and see behind the scenes. So there are a total 7 interns on the agenda for approval. It's a great program, and I think a lot of students are getting a ton of real world opportunity out of that. We also discussed how we recently set up our My MTPS portal. This is really just focusing on real-time insights into all copier and printer usage to best utilize devices and reduce waste. So this is just focused on cost savings across the district.
Okay, thank you. Shared services, we had a meeting on April 29th. We discussed an easement at High School South. The group discussed an easement for the Verizon repeater pole that the township has proposed to the Board of Education. The easement would allow Verizon to place a repeater pole on a parking lot island at High School South. Federal law permits cell phone companies to place these poles in municipal right-of-ways. The closest municipal right-of-way is adjacent to Brash Boulevard. Since there are residences there, the township is asking that the pole be placed on the school property instead. The board representatives will take this issue back to facilities for committee for consideration. We did discuss that, and
We did, and we're also talking, Mr. Burns and I are talking to the township about trying to get even a more exact location of what was being proposed as far as placement on the High School South campus. They did send us a picture today, late today, about where Verizon had originally proposed to place the pole and sort of a mock-up of that, and it was directly in somebody's backyard, pretty much. So we can share that with the committee when we meet, and we're going to try to get them to give us a more exact location, because we were looking at a map of South, and where they were looking to put it, we weren't exactly clear. So
we also discussed the Special Law Enforcement Officers Agreement, which expires on June 30th this year. The group discussed the renewal of this agreement for July 1. The township expressed that they would have a proposal together for the board in July, but the BOE representative stated the district uses special law enforcement officers for its ESY program over the summer, so the new agreement needs to be in place before June 30. Township representatives said they are reviewing the budget for this program. We'll have renewal information to the board by early June. We also discussed the Bayview field improvements. The township will be opening bids for this project, which will open on May 12th. They expect to have a contract award at the June committee meeting. The project's expected to be completed by Labor Day. The America 250 parade, the township shared that the Middletown Township Police Department will potentially be looking to use New Monmouth Elementary School grounds as a staging area for the June 28 America 250 parade. We also discussed our fuel agreement. The group discussed the existing fuel purchasing agreement. The township's considering raising the per gallon administrative fee from 20 cents a gallon to 40 cents a gallon. It's a pretty significant increase, so the board may need to explore other options for purchasing fuel in order to evaluate the pricing.
I just want to add to that, that the reason that they're doing that is because they have to rebuild their station. It's not just an arbitrary increase. They have to do improvements to their fueling stations, so they are looking at the cost of that.
And we also discussed exploring other avenues for shared services between the board and the township. Next meeting is scheduled for June 8th, and that's at Town Hall, so we'll have more to report back after that meeting.
And I believe they were supposed to have that, less information about the special law enforcement officers at the June 8th meeting, so that we could have it by the 30th.
That's what they told us.
Okay.
because we would have to approve the agreement at our June board meeting.
Right. Yeah, and we told them when our meeting was, and with all the graduations, that is the only day we can meet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, that's it for the reports. Now I'd like to open up the mic for public comment, 30 minutes on agenda action items only. Agenda action items only. 30 minutes. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. We did 3 minutes.
Okay. I'm sorry, do we have the recording of the questions for this? Thank you. Okay.
Hi, Rebecca Lara, Port Monmouth. As a quick means of background, I am an attorney, a Middletown resident, and a mom of 4, 2 of which are in this district's elementary schools. On May 11th, I submitted the letter that Ms. Minuez referenced regarding environmental health and safety conditions in several elementary schools. I'm not going to get into the details of that letter. If you want to see, there is a patch article as referenced. I want to use my time to address the documents that I received that I believe that the board was also presented today.
Wait, excuse me. Wait, this is only on action items, only on the agenda.
Oh,
So
this
comment at
wasn't,
the end.
oh, okay, because this is, because Ms. Minuez talked about it, I can't.
It's
Oh,
nothing on the
I
agenda.
misunderstood. I thought if it was discussed, I could discuss. Okay, I'll
No,
go back.
at the end, you can public
Okay.
comment for anything
Okay,
you wish to
cool. No
discuss.
worries.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Josh Grilla, Middletown. I have a question about section 10I, if that's a question I can ask about, special education contracted service providers. Is that the totality of the list for special education service providers that we'll be having in the district next year?
It's the list that we have right now. We do add providers during the year as needed, but this is the initial list that we know we have at this point.
Okay, my son currently uses Summit Speech School, and so if it's something that's not going to be continued, we'd like notice of that, or when we could be aware of when other service providers will be on the agenda.
It could be, and I'll check with that department, but if we didn't actually get their renewal contract before this agenda, we didn't add them on, and like I said, we would add them when we get the
Okay,
contract.
so this isn't an affirmative list of the totality and all
We
list?
will, and we do, and we will be adding providers throughout the year. This is what we have right now.
Okay, thank you very much.
Hi, Kristen Rooney, Middletown. Just a quick question on strategic planning. Can I ask? That's agenda? Okay. Where, I don't think we got to or covered anything budget related in any of our,
Wait, hold, I don't know that we're voting on anything else.
We're not voting.
No, we're not voting on anything for special
okay,
education.
so, okay.
You bring it up at the end. No. Anybody else for agenda items only at this time? Okay, I see nobody else, we're gonna close the public portion. Yes,
Yes, my report, I'll be,
superintendent's report.
I got no mic here. Now I do, thank you.
This microphone's a terrible.
I only have a couple of things. Just a reminder to the community that Friday was changed to an early release day versus a full day off from school due to the weather-related school closures that we had this year. Now we're experiencing a heat wave, which will be short-lived, I think. And then certainly we have off on Monday for Memorial Day. Also, just a reminder that June 2nd is a day where we only have staff in and no students due to the primary elections. Again, I'll reiterate, we're really excited to restart strategic planning. We'll be sharing that information with subcommittee members in the next week or so. We also will be, and we asked for people to volunteer to serve in this capacity from the community, liaisons to the administration. So we'll also be reaching out to those liaisons, and their primary responsibility will be certainly to stay in more intimate contact with the administrative team as this process unfolds. Just to have deeper, after those subcommittee meetings, discussions regarding action plans and those priority areas that the subcommittee discusses during those summer sessions. So we'll be reaching out to those individuals as well. So thank you for all of those individuals who volunteered their time and are willing to participate in that capacity. We're also excited, as was in my update for the end of last month, is our K-5 math program selection, Amplified Desmos. I'm a curriculum person at heart, so anytime there's a pilot program where we spend a significant amount of time and energy in vetting out a program, and when we finally land on something that we feel can make a difference in the district, I think that's cause for excitement. I'm thinking that this is going to generate the same kind of product that our shift to Orton-Gillingham did a couple of years ago, but on the math side of things. So that's an exciting initiative, and as Mrs. Wright mentioned in her update, professional development on June 2nd for our K-5 teachers will be heavily emphasized with starting that Amplified Desmos training for our teaching staff members. Finally, on June 11th, we have our last recognition program of the year. This is where we recognize all of our retirees, as well as many students. I mean, we do the BASE Awards, we do athletic teams and such, but so please, if you can, come out and support specifically our retirees who have given many, many, many years of service to our district, and it's a night where we can celebrate and recognize them publicly. So thank you. June 11th, 6 o'clock, here, yes.
Thank you, Dr. Alphonse. Okay, need a motion to approve the meeting minutes, 9A through D.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Need a motion to approve items 10A through 10BB.
I have a quick question about one of them. Okay.
Do we have a motion?
So moved. Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, for 10A, the policies governing the district, have there been any changes to any of the policies?
No, not as of recent. Not as of recently. What happens is, and we moved to New Jersey school boards for our policy provider last year and fully morphed all of our policies over. What we found with New Jersey school boards is they are very intentional with things that they choose. We did just receive an alert recently, so we will have to reconvene a policy committee meeting to discuss those things, but they're minor things. Nothing massive that is going to change our process or things that we, are legally required to do as a district. They're more nuanced things like, this statute was left out of this policy, et cetera. But what we're finding with school boards versus Strauss-Esme is there is much less minutia in the policy changes that get handed down, and they're very much more straightforward versus in legal speak that Strauss-Esme really, kind of convoluted the situation with.
Okay, so as long as we're voting on taking what we have and using it through.
Yeah, and
next
also
year.
using school boards as our provider for those policies. This is
Okay.
not you're not voting on any policy changes with
Thank
that
you.
today, correct?
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm opposed on 10G, the architect.
And any abstentions? Okay, I need a motion on items on the business office consent agenda, items 11A through 11O.
Can we pull a couple of them out for discussion?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Well, let's do a motion. Which ones do you want? Why don't we do a motion in a second, and then we'll discuss them one by one. So do we have a motion on 11, A through O?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, now discussion. Yes, we can pull them one by one and discuss them.
On D, on the bills list,
Mhm.
can you tell me what we paid Ross Haber for on, I don't have the date here. It just says May 2026.
That was the second half of the payment for the work that he did with the redistricting, the boundary study. We'd only paid for half.
Oh, I thought we paid for that back in,
We made one payment, we didn't make the full payment, we only paid for part of the work.
okay.
I had a very small question about, it's kind of silly, but the cost of the Board of Ed meeting food. Was that just 1 month, or is that from the beginning of the year? Because it was like $900.
Yeah, that's not 1 month, I don't know off, it might be
Okay.
the whole year so far.
It feels like a lot for chips and water.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't want
Okay.
people to think we're sitting.
We don't pay that monthly.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
otherwise I'd be starving.
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
Popcorn and chips.
I brought my own drink.
All right.
I think that with, two things I have an issue with. On H, the 25 cents, I think we agreed to 15 cents in the committee meeting, and for it to be changed on the agenda, I have a problem with that because that was the point of having the committee meeting. And the second thing in terms of the sponsorship, under I made a suggestion that we bring it in-house. We're giving 30% away to a company that's not really doing anything for us. And as far as I'm concerned, if it's an advertising company, they're in year one, they should be going all in to get as many advertisements as they can, especially if they're commission-based. You would think they would want to be making revenue. So I don't really think we should hook up with them again because they didn't do anything for us in the first place.
Can I make a
Can
Can I make a suggestion that we're not obligated to pay these people anything that they don't find for us, right? Because they're commission-based. Maybe we approve this, but also try to supplement it with in-house so we can fully morph over, over the course of time.
I think 30% is too much. They didn't prove themselves in the first year. Maybe 10%.
Well, 30% of nothing, still nothing.
Right, so.
I also just want to remind the board that we did put this out for a competitive contract. We got proposals. I mean, this was the only proposal that came in for this specific need, so we did get, but we did put it out for a competitive process. The other thing I just want to also bring up that we talked about in finance, and I think we've talked about facilities as well, is, we also, really wanted to take the advertising, and make it clearer. We get a lot of questions about all the other signage that's on our properties. I mean, we don't sell all the advertising that's on our properties. There's other groups that sell some of that. So, I think as part of the whole discussion, the board needs to decide, a direction, which way they want to remain. If there's certain things that, we would be selling as a district and certain things that would be allowed for, the other, booster clubs and parent groups and so forth, or, does the board want to have a bigger discussion on that? But, because that is a question we get asked a lot too.
We need to be figuring out ways to get as much revenue as possible. The scoreboards have to be paid back, and I think the intention was that this ad company was going to do that, but they're not really showing any results.
Would that be limited just to finance, or is there a different way that we could discuss ideas about how we could bring additional revenue in for the scoreboards?
I'm sure anybody can discuss it. I mean,
Bring a suggestion forward.
Well, no, I mean, I know I submitted a couple of technological ideas,
did.
but I mean, there are some ideas that, the student, I know Mark was talking about having a student focus, I think just from personal experience, students, I just don't know if that would be a club or a work study program or something that they would do through school. I'm not sure how we could approach that, but it might be a good way to
Yeah, we can talk about it some more and see how that would look. But as Dr. Alphone said, that could certainly be supplementing. I mean, I'm not sure, the purpose of getting a professional firm was to reach out to larger entities. Maybe we were hoping to even get, national companies and things of that nature. We haven't been able to do that as of yet, but I don't know if that will be coming in the future. We did talk about finance, the fact that the revenues were not where we want them to be. We did talk about giving it, really was not a full year last year, and the scoreboards they were only put into service right before the beginning of the year, and so that we didn't have the summer or anything to really sell ads, so,
Do they have any leads on ads coming in?
What's that?
Do they have any leads on ads coming in?
I haven't met with them recently, but I mean, we did talk about we were going to regroup with them at the end of the school year and see what the plan was for next year.
Can we push this to the next meeting then? See what their plan is?
I would like to know like their criteria. Does somebody just approach them, say we want to advertise and you play let's make a deal with a price? Or is there like a list of prices for each thing that we want to do?
They
we have to be
negotiate
consistent.
agreements, and again, being that they take in a commission off of that revenue, it would be to their best interest to be selling ads.
Yeah.
We don't know that all their deals were so good.
And I guess my concern is, so we got Alliance to give $10,000. What if another company comes in, gets the same advertising and they get less? Is there any kind of thing in a contract that specifically says?
I think they have a standard,
No, we haven't seen any of that, yeah.
What is the contract?
I'm sorry?
Is there anything in the contract?
The contract that we have with them doesn't specify prices for
They have insurance.
advertising, and they're different, I'm sorry?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean, they don't have a rate card that they have, like a standardized rate card that they share?
Well, there's been different types of deals. We've had some things that were on the video scoreboards. We've had, the Alliance sign you're talking about is actually a static sign on the back of the scoreboard. There's been a few other things that they have brought in. So it depends upon the duration of, when they're, when it's going to be shown, how long is it going to be for. Obviously something that's up all year long and not on the video scoreboard, you're probably going to get more money for that because it never turns off.
Can we make a request to see their collateral, what they're putting out to potential advertisers, just to get an idea of what they're requesting as far as pricing, placement, eyes per ad and whatnot, just to get an idea of what's being put out to the public or their potential partners?
Yeah, we can, like I said, we were planning on meeting with them, at the conclusion of the school year. We can get all of that information.
And I will say, this is a reputable company. They do all of the ads for the Shore Conference athletics. So they are like an entity that we vetted, and they have a proven result. Certainly, as Mrs. Doherty said, like our scoreboards weren't even up and running until very late in the game. So,
And this is just year one.
yeah, but certainly we can meet with them and get that information. But I just want to make sure that this is not just, a person that, the only person applied, so we're going to take them. They have a proven track record in the Shore Conference. So all the athletic, events that you go to that are Shore Conference sponsored, you'll see ads there. They do all of their advertising, the solicitation of those advertisements, and have raised quite a bit of money for the Shore Conference in doing so.
They have, but and that also circles back to the other discussion. And we have talked to them. They monetize a lot of the assets throughout the district. They're not every district has video scoreboards, so they're doing advertising in gymnasiums, in bubbles, along the fences of fields. So they are bringing in revenue for other districts that way. So I think it's more of an approach, discussion that the board needs to have about, how we're going to do this going forward as well. This is all good discussion. There's different avenues that we can take. I think we also have to be clear on what we are willing to sell for advertising.
I think it would be harmful to start taking those signs that have been sold for years away from the parent groups, because that's their sole source of fundraising. I know it could benefit us, but they've been doing it for a long time, and what they do with that money benefits our students 100%. And I had this feeling the last time we did it about corporate sponsorship taken away from our PTAs. you know, when they're going out soliciting, if they went through all the local people, our PTAs would have no one to solicit to.
I think we just have to define the lines clearly.
So can we table this then, until we get some of this information?
Which that leads to what I was going to ask. What do we know about, like if we're talking about bringing it in-house and having students possibly go out there to get some of these ads, would that
I
go
think
with?
that, I don't think that that's a viable.
Okay, but I mean, if we're talking about in-house, like if we're talking about these other options, are we going to, is that going to conflict with that contract? If we approve this contract tonight, if we're talking about.
I don't think so, because there is no obligation on our part to accept any of the proposals that they're bringing forth. I mean, that's what I would think. Like, we're not obligated, even when they solicit something for us, we have to review it and the board has to approve it prior to it being accepted anyway.
So any of the.
And they're only commission-based.
Okay, so any of the advertising that they are going to put out, we have to approve first.
I just have one more question. So I just wanted to clarify, you're saying that one of the issues is that generally they're not selling a lot of video advertising, right? They're selling a lot of static banners and placements.
We've
around
gotten
the
some
fields.
video advertising, but that's really where we were hoping to get more.
But that's not maybe their specialty because of the lack of video placements at other schools?
You know, that's me saying that, that's something
Okay,
they've said,
all right.
but.
I'm just wondering out loud if.
No, and they
maybe-
sell video ads because, for instance, like when they go to, like the Shore Conference holds a tournament at Monmouth University, they have a digital scoreboard. So their media that their advertising they're selling for those events is digitized. Same thing if you go to a basketball game. They have the scrolling, like the scorer's table has the scrolling, you know, kind of feed. That is also digitized. So they're working in the digital world. It's just a matter of like having them be able to sell digital ads for a high school environment and also having the people in the area who may be interested in participating and purchasing ad space being able to digitize their message for us as well. So it's a lot of things having to come together.
Isn't it also too that you're selling digital ads for scoreboards that are not on all the time? They're only on during games.
Well, that's when they want them on. I mean,
Yeah,
but
they're not
games
getting
like
much
can
out of
be
it.
all kinds of games. Like we hopefully, you know, we'll be expanding that scoreboard usage to other sports where we can, you know, digitize things. And, you know, there's this idea of like ads time, like how long an ad would run, length of time, what part of the game. But then there's also other options where, you know, you might have your ad up for the entire game, like in a box at the bottom of the screen, you know, like, so there's a lot of different options. You know, I think we're just scratching the surface in my opinion, but certainly we can look for ways to expand it in-house too, doesn't hurt.
I also want to make a comment on H15. And I think Sarah said it pretty much before. H, yeah, the food service one, for the 15 cents, it's not 15.
Oh.
If we're just raising it the extra 10 cents to raise it, what are we telling our community? Just leave it at the 15?
I think just leave it at 15.
I say just leave it at 15, because if we're not gonna get much, like Sarah said, 10 cents just to do it, then why are we doing it?
I agree, if it was agreed at 15.
Yeah.
We agreed to 15. which-
Yeah, I would say raise it if we're gonna
If we're
make
gonna
some kind of
benefit,
improvement.
but we're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're not, because that should really come with contracting.
Maybe we should wait till next year to raise it when we get a new food service.
Just leave it at 15.
Leave it as is.
You have to make
You have a motion to amend.
so.
I make a motion.
I don't want to make it as a motion, but I would suggest.
Yeah, maybe we should just make a motion not to raise it at all this year and do
Well,
it
you
next
could,
year.
maybe you could just make a motion to, you know, reflect a 15-cent increase, and then we can adjust the prices accordingly.
As amended.
So it would reduce all the costs listed in the.
By
agenda
10 cents.
Yeah.
Why don't we just not do an increase at all and wait till next year when we get a new contract? We've increased
Because
enough-
we
there's been
didn't
enough
raise,
increases this year
I
already.
wouldn't recommend that. We didn't raise prices last year either, and you really don't want to be in a situation where you have to raise them a larger amount all in one year. It is wise to keep pace and not have a very large spike in one particular year.
So we have a motion and a second on 11A through 11O. I need all in favor on 11A through O, with 11H being amended to include a 10-cent increase. 15-cent increase.
Which is a
Which is a 10% reduction
from what's listed in the agenda.
in the pricing listed on the agenda. You want a roll call then?
I'm sorry, one more question about transportation contracts.
Sure.
Are we changing any routes or taking any routes out?
We won't know that until we have all of our enrollments done. Like that will come later in the game.
I guess I'm asking about the ones that we had talked about that we're possibly changing for this year.
No, the only changes in routes we would make would be if we didn't need it for a certain reason, like a special
Okay.
ed route, or if we were able to collapse due to riders, like enrollment and who's assigned to a route, like
Got it.
combine routes, but no, there's no,
No
if
other-
you're talking about the Port Monmouth Kersey busing.
We're not
that's
taking busing.
Yeah, and we,
Thank you.
we already, we decided that wasn't gonna happen.
Any other discussion? Okay, roll call. This is on 11A through O, and 11H is amended to include a 15-cent increase.
Mrs. Benoist.
I am no on 11I and yes on the rest.
Mr. Soporowski.
I am no on D, no on H,
I'm sorry, D.
D,
Okay.
H, and I am no on I with the sponsorship promoter services.
Yes on the other items.
Everything else, yes. You got H for no?
D, E, H, and I.
D, H, and I.
No H. Oh, not
E
E.
is okay.
D, H.
Right, so D, H, and I.
Well,
No.
DH.
D, H, and then on I.
D
just
is in
the spon-
David,
David,
H is in
H,
hotel, and I, for lack of a better description, B, right?
Yes. I-
Just for the,
Just
your-
sponsorship.
just on the just short
Just-
district advertising.
Yeah, I'm on the sponsorship too, mine, everything else.
Just the
is yes.
sponsorship.
Right.
Okay. Mrs. Torres.
Yes.
Mrs. Weinstein.
I'm just double confirming that H is a 10-cent reduction or total 15-cent increase.
15-cent increase.
And yes.
Mrs. Wright.
Yes.
Mr. Avita.
Yes.
So, everything passes except, no. 1, 2, 3.
Well, do you need 5 votes on that?
On what?
There's only
6.
6 members
Yeah,
here.
they all pass.
Yeah.
No, it's a word of a contract, contracts need a majority.
They all passed, it was majority.
Contracts need a majority of the full board.
So you need 5 votes for that?
So a
Okay.
short district does not pass because
Okay.
there's not a majority of the full board. It's a
All right.
contract.
So the contract services for the advertising does not pass?
Correct.
All right, moving along.
Just a reminder that 12A, we need a roll call on the.
Yeah.
On the one,
On
one.
12A.
Yes.
you got it, yeah.
So, I need a motion on 12A.
Should we just do the number 306811
Yeah.
first?
Yeah, the appeal. Yeah.
We need a motion.
Motion?
Second?
Mark motion, voting on the appeal.
Right, somebody has to second it. Erin? Yeah.
Okay, discussion?
So this is only on the appeal.
Right. Roll call.
Mrs. Benoist.
Yes.
Mr. Soporowski.
Yes.
Mrs. Torres.
Yes.
Mrs. Weinstein.
Yes.
Mrs. Wright.
Yes.
Mr. Avita.
Yes.
And now you have to vote.
All right, now,
Include 12A for the regular.
excuse me?
I didn't know that.
L. No, A through, yeah,
No,
the
12A, we have to do the regular.
We have to do the balance of 12A, and then 12A, the balance to 12L.
L. And this personnel.
And this personnel. So I need a motion on 12A, the balance, and through 12L.
So
Motion,
moved.
second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I am no on the yeses and yes on the noes.
For 12A.
12A.
Any other abstentions? Okay. Now I need a motion on 12M, HR 1 through HR 7 under personnel.
So moved.
Second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? All right, moving along. Old business. Anybody have any old business?
I just wanted to bring up, I know Mr. Cullen was starting it before for the public comment questions. Could we please get a copy of that from the last 2 meetings with the questions, and then even the ones that aren't relevant anymore, I would like to still see the questions, because that was the motion that we made, to get those questions and answers from public comment.
Yeah, we got them distributed.
Okay. So, maybe end of the week?
He has them done.
Oh, great.
I'm sure he has.
He has
He's
them.
very
Thank you.
diligent.
We'll get
Yeah.
into it very shortly.
Thank you.
Look at him.
I don't want to interrupt, but Rashi and Julian, block 1 starts very early, at
Yes.
10:15. So if you're thinking you need to get home so you can be, right, uphold excellence at 7:20, let me know. Okay?
He'll be like this.
On a break curfew. And thank you.
Thank you,
I
guys.
give you more credit
You're
for being here this
excused.
whole time.
Thanks for hanging in there, girl.
I just wanted to bring up the wellness committee. I think we're at the point where we have board members and administration, so I just wanted to kind of check on going out to the public and the appropriate means to do that. I know we have one person who met us months ago that was interested in what we can do next.
Yes, I think our next step is we were going to set up our organizational meetings. So we'll have to circulate amongst the board members who have volunteered and the 3 of us, and have, get a meeting to set what the committee's gonna look like and sort of a path for the next few months, and then we can get that out. So we can, circulate dates and times.
You guys have the lead on that, or do you want any of us to take it over?
I can,
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Cullen, I apologize. I just checked my phone, so that's the second time tonight that I missed something from you. I apologize.
What, he sent today?
He did, like
Look at that
15
girl.
minutes ago.
Taurus, you're just like a minute or 2 behind.
Too fast.
Then it's a good day if I'm only a minute or 2 behind, so thank you.
The good part is she's
Doing
not
well
on her
today.
phone.
It's all good.
Any other
Thanks,
old
Joe.
business? Any new business?
Yes, I do, and I know that Jessica spoke about this before, but I just wanted to congratulate the esports committee for their state championship. It took us a while to get esports up and running in this district, a lot of hard work, a lot of figuring out where it is. It's a great opportunity for kids that don't play sports and are very interested in doing the games in the computers. There's lots of scholarships out there for esports. I don't think people realize that. It just is a great thing that includes anybody and everybody who needs something to be a part of, and they enjoy it, so it's really good. So I wanted to congratulate Evan Thompson, Kaden Leak, and Kosip Grisbowski. Evan is in grade 12, Kaden is in grade 10, and Kosip is in grade 9. Winning a state championship in this is a big accomplishment. And for the audience, the board did get an email today from the organization that runs this. And it says, on behalf of everyone at the Garden State Esports, I wanted to personally congratulate Middletown High School South on winning the Garden State Esports Mario Kart State Championship this past Saturday. Middletown has been one of the foundational programs in our league for years, and it has been incredible watching the continued growth of our students, staff, and esports culture. Programs do not sustain long-term success like this by accident. It comes from strong district support, dedicated leadership, and coaches who consistently create positive opportunities for our students. Coach Siegel deserves special recognition for this incredible work he has done building and sustaining the program. Mark has always represented everything we hope scholastic esports can be: student-centered, inclusive, competitive, and community-driven. The championship is a reflection of the culture he and your district have built over time. We would also like to help celebrate this accomplishment, and I talked to Dr. Alphone about it. They would like to come when we recognize the team in public at the board meeting. So congratulations to esports. It's been a long time coming, a lot of hard work, and they did a great job.
And that, we will include them and invite Garden State Esports to come on our June 11th recognitions.
Perfect.
Any other new business? Okay, we'll open it up to public comment on non-agenda items for 30 minutes. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Also, please direct all questions to the chair. If it's a district level question, I'll defer to Dr. Alphone. If it's a building level issue, we'll direct you back to the building. And if it's something we have to research, we'll get back to you. Please state your name.
Rebecca Lara, Port Monmouth. Going back to the letter we were talking about earlier. I received this morning documentation, photographs, and some documents from the district about remediation of the issues that I had brought up in my letter. And I wanted to spend some time and focus in on one of those letters and just kind of point out some concerns that I still have. So that report was provided from Environmental Connection, Inc. And in the interest of time, I'm just going to focus on the one regarding the HVAC systems. The report assessed the safety data sheets for products used in the district's HVAC units, including a product called New Caligon Pan Spray Black. The product's own label states it is suspected of causing cancer, may damage fertility or the unborn child, and causes damage to organs through prolonged and repeated exposure. Now, according to the manufacturer's own website, that product is approved for condensate pans, swamp coolers, plumbing fixtures, roofing, and gutters. Notably, duct liner installation is not on that list. Now, there are specific products, even from that same company, that are intended for use on duct liners. And those products are specifically designed for that application and are formulated and approved for exactly that purpose, yet the district chose not to use one of those products. And I'd like to know why. Was it costs? Additionally, the district's own written IAQ program, which was provided to me this morning as well, requires that before any sealant or coating is applied, the designated person, who is the director of facilities, must verify the product is appropriate for the intended use. New Caligon Pan Spray is not approved by its manufacturer for application to a duct liner. That is a violation of the district's own policy. So what does this report provided by EC say that has convinced this board that there isn't a need for an independent review? The report concluded the product was not hazardous, of course, but that conclusion was based on the product being applied and cured on an appropriate surface. It says absolutely nothing about a 5-year-old degraded coating on an unapproved surface physically breaking apart and becoming airborne through an active HVAC system into occupied classrooms. That question was not asked, and it is precisely the question that needs to be answered. I also want the board to understand the sequence of events here. Before any testing was done or provided by this third-party company, administration allegedly told a teacher that the black dust was harmless. The district's HVAC maintenance mechanic was then told to resign or be terminated after documenting the problem and stating his intention to bring it to the board. 10 days after the forced resignation, the district commissioned the safety data sheet review. Therefore, the report did not precede the conclusion that the dust was harmless. It was produced to justify it after the fact, and after the person raising the alarm was removed. I've also been informed since my letter was submitted, staff have been working to address conditions I documented. Based on the facilities report by Ms. Minuez, that seems to be confirmed. That should not have required.
Oh. Okay, would anyone else like to finish?
No.
No one else cares? Okay, cool. Just me. I don't think we said that. We just did it.
Oh.
I just don't, I don't know if I do that.
Well, Carolyn's our own children. Notably, my children are not in these schools that I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'll send you that first.
Hi, Kristen Rooney, Middletown. My question, I think, was about strategic planning and where in strategic planning committees does budgeting fall? I just don't remember ever covering it, so maybe that's just something to note.
There's a facilities/finance committee.
Okay, facilities and
Yeah,
finance.
it works together.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you think about finance and the budget, it's intertwined in all areas,
Okay.
in reality.
Okay, thank you.
Scott McPherson, Middletown resident. I have a question about the agenda itself, specifically board docs. So, Mr. Abate, I think Ms. Doherty would be the one to answer this question. So I understand there's an issue with the website. When we click on the PDF, it's not actually downloading it. There's some sort of error. And I believe that's been brought to your attention.
Do you want me to answer?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know all of the specifics. I know my assistant has been dealing with board docs, and they've had some, I believe they made an upgrade a couple of weeks ago, and there might still be some glitches from that. So we are continuing to monitor the issue with them.
Okay. Yeah, so the issue is like we can't see the whole agenda like we can here. We used to be able to, and now with this issue. So if for the next board meeting, if it's still not corrected, which I understand is not a district issue, it's a vendor issue, if you could print it out and scan it in the PDF and put a link up on the website, it'd be easier for us so we could have all the information for the meeting.
Yes, we could do that. We could print it and post the PDF on the website.
Appreciate it, thank you.
Mr. Avita,
Yes.
I would like to make a motion to let Mrs. Laura finish speaking her speech.
I'll second it.
Yeah, if it
I
takes
have no
more than
problem.
3 minutes, that's fine.
All right, I appreciate that. Where was I? Oh, the maintenance staff has been working on remediating these issues, and I do appreciate that. But that should not have required public exposure for that to happen. These buildings have known recurring problems, and tonight, in the Patch article, the president of the teachers union did confirm that she's aware of concerns and is working with the New Jersey Work Environment Council on behalf of her members. I don't know specifically what concerns she's working on, but it is a documented ongoing pattern in this district. It should not take public attention for the school district to act urgently on health and safety conditions that its own employees have reported for years. And quick fixes made without independent verification are not the same as adequate repairs. We have seen that pattern before with these buildings. The only way to know whether what has been done is sufficient and whether anything was missed is independent inspection by a certified industrial hygienist retained by this board, not by the administration. And I'm asking the board to commit to that tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else, public comment? No, so you know, the mic will close the public portion. A motion to adjourn the meeting, please.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Still the same day. We ended on the same day this time.